question just for the person who's in line, or ask one for everyone. We don't want like one or two people looking at you, Brad and MovieBob, to download everything. Okay? Okay, so starting over with Bob. Any questions for Bob?
Hi, Bob.
Oh yes. I don't do this. Okay, good on mine.
My name is Bob Chipman, aka MovieBob, and I'm here because they saw me in the hall and said you should do this.
Yeah.
I'm Nash. I used to do Dr. Who reviews, kind of do fantasy movies, and people doing stupid things.
Sorry, but it's
Good.
true.
You can move. It's your choice.
My name's Brad. I played Bayless on that guy.
I'm Ren Hasno. I do a show called Meet More Gay.
Yeah!
I'm Diamanda Hagan. I review stuff that Brad hasn't got to yet. Nash doesn't want to. I have to.
I'm Leo. I host That Sci-Fi Guy. I review science fiction. I also host the League of Inebriated Gentlemen, where I review beers.
I'm Kallgren. My brother's a bit source. I host a show called Browse All High on MAGfest and ShapeApocalypse.com.
And I'm Mathew Buck, aka Film Brain, and I literally wrote it 40 minutes ago.
Okay, so any questions for MovieBob at the end?
At the end? Come on, Jerrica. I know your favorite movie is RoboCop. What are your thoughts on the new one, both as a remake and as its own movie?
Well, I haven't seen it yet, but it looks terrible, and I'd rather not think about it until I have to actually work on it. Something more interesting, but it just looks like shit. Up the back.
I have a question for the panel as a whole, actually. Out of all the movies you get as a concert request, what one will you not review because it's out of your wheelhouse?
Doctor Who.
Come back to that, think about it.
There was one that I started watching, and I got 20 minutes into it and realized that it was literally nothing but two people having sex in front of a Nazi flag. So I kind of skipped it.
I'll literally review any movie I feel like. It can be any genre, and I also would be interested in finding out what that film was.
Anything straight. People ask me to review things that aren't sci-fi.
Cowboys and aliens.
People frequently ask me to do Blade Runner, but frankly, I'm not sure at this point what more I can say that hasn't been said before, and I'm worried about being redundant. And that's the only reason why I don't do that one, even though it's one of my favorite films.
For me, whenever I pick a movie to review, it's usually because I find something that I can hook on to create a whole essay, like thesis about it. Other than that, I don't think of any one title that kind of starts with me. I did get one request for Inception, though. Which apparently is an art house.
But I got Inception as well at one point. Like, I won't review anything I feel like I don't have enough material from, but I'll get the odd weird requests. Like, I remember one time, this was before the remake came out, someone asked, can you review Evil Dead? It's terrible.
What? Blasphemy!
Just name? I can't remember the name. That was my request. Go to my subforum and look at my request thread that someone did post that. I swear, it's right there. Along with Inception.
Actually, I just got it. Star Wars Episode 1 people asked me to review. The Red Letter Media is covered with Carl.
Yeah! Woo!
I remembered, the whole premise of what I do is pretty much I'm looking back at why we never had a fantasy blockbuster up until Lord of the Rings. And people keep asking me to do Harry Potter. Like, the basic thesis here, you're not...
So when will you do Harry Potter?
Okay, is there anything for Nash?
Will there be a special MAGfest edition of, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's already snowing and people are going to go get drunk after this, so I'm anticipating. Some of us are drunk right now. I am anticipating the grand drunken snowball massacre. You back there?
Alright, this question's for everybody. An evil wizard tells you that you may only live in a world without Disney or a world without Nintendo. Which world do you choose?
I kill the wizard.
I have a logic question on that. Without Disney, the company, but do the people who worked there still exist?
No.
Disney.
I really don't care that much about ice cream. I'm good on
I need my drunk Nintendo night, so I need something about Disney.
I'd probably go for the world without Nintendo, simply because Disney owns absolutely everything else in the world.
Without Nintendo, I guess.
Disney bought Star Wars, so...
I was going to say, but I actually echoed that. I need my Star Wars.
You should do without Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I grew up with it, but now I realize that it kind of solidified how we make movies now. We are living in the house that Spielberg and Lucas built. I kind of want to see what the world would have been like without it. If, like, the Scorsese's and the Coppolas kept with the script through the 80s. So, without Disney.
Here I am at the end, and I'm thinking, if I said a world without Nintendo, would that be massively unpopular at a video game convention? Okay. World without Nintendo.
Oh, right here. Hey, I'm sure you guys have gotten a lot of weird fan backlash that you disagree with, or fans who, give you negative feedback or agree or disagree. But what was the fan backlash or negative feedback that stuck with you the most?
Sounds like some ring of divorce.
Whether it was because you disagreed with their opinion or because you protested for me or something. Open question for everyone.
I have one. I have an interesting answer for that. This month, me and Rap Critic last month we did 4 videos on the Insane Clown Posse, 2 movie reviews and 12 reviews.
Oh no!
I had no idea they were so into their band. We had people claiming that both of us were deliberately trying to troll their fan base. Other ones were saying we failed at the review because we were obviously trying to troll them, but then we didn't reveal it was all a trick. For some reason, they're mirroring of what happened in their fucking Wraith album. They seem to think we were doing some sort of performance. And That does seem a bit silly, yeah.
Basically, anytime I say anything political or about religion, I don't cover like a sea of the world.
You see, I reviewed several religious movies, and the juggalo thing completely blew out the water.
I still get hate mail because of the negative review of Man of Steel. How many times can I say get over it?
Over time doing this, it's slowly, and it's not that I dislike the fans, because they're why I'm here, and it's great. But there's just a certain level you just have to start filtering out, because it's either so much, or it's and comment threads in general. I started doing this. I posted a while back about how Popular Science got rid of comment threads on their website entirely. They did away with it because they just felt like they were redundant and they were dragging the original article down. And it really, I'm not happy with that aspect of Web 2.0 because instead of it actually being about what's being presented to the audience, it's the audience stepping up and using it as, kind of a platform, a Me Too, class clown kind of stuff. And it ends up being the signal-to-noise ratio just gets distorted. You get more noise than you do anything useful out of it. Just to sift through it all, it takes too much out of it.
Kind of surprised I don't get more of these, but I did want to YouTube comment that was to the effect of, "You need Jesus because you're dangerously deviant and stay out of sin." And I didn't respond to it, but in my head I was like, why is this person watching a review of Dante's Code? Which is a gay porn series about wizards that are naked all the time.
I have to.
Do you want to get that? I did a crossover with Mars Girl on Friday, and we wrote the script very fast, and I made a science fact error that I didn't fact check because it was literally written overnight. We filmed it the next morning, and I caught on flat for that one. So I always double check all of my facts now, even if crunching time.
I can't tell my story because police ended up getting involved.
Wow!
You win.
Correction, the rail station took place in Oakland, not San Francisco.
Welcome to Oakland, bitch.
This happened like a couple weeks ago, so it's still fresh in my mind. I said that the rail station took place in San Francisco. Everyone in the world said it took place in Oakland. I didn't know there was a difference.
It's not like we don't feel bad.
River from each other.
Well, technically the Bay is like the Bay Bridge.
I've got to say the Equilibrium review. Obviously. I mean, when we were making that, it was like the third thing I had actually properly done with the website, proper review format like I've known before, so it was really kind of shaky, and it was still kind of getting its teeth in. I had no idea the immense backlash that it did, just like, whoa. But I learned lessons from that review. The tack in that review, I sort of went in the wrong direction, where I kind of went after the fans a little bit. I was like, why is there a fan site about this? And that's kind of really the wrong approach. See, I've kind of distilled it to, you can say what you like about the movie, but keep it about the movie. Don't go off topic, don't go about the people too much, don't go about the people behind the scenes too much, and for goodness sake, don't attack the fans of the movie, that just makes you look like a dick.
Yeah. Try back one.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
One of the aspects I've found about internet movie reviewing is that if you have fun, like watching a movie and actually mocking it, then perhaps you can get good material out of making the review. and usually the guys watching the review will have fun watching it. But is there a review that you're the most satisfied with, and you really think a lot of people really enjoy as well? And this is for all of you besides that. I mean, as well.
Caligula or Animal Holocaust, stuff like that. I Spit on Your Grave, being able to make like a 20-minute comedy sketch out of the first 20 minutes of that movie is challenging. The stuff that I get to play around with and kind of do some sketch work with, I usually tend to be pretty satisfied with.
My one, I'd say probably my sextet review. They're fun over there. A lot of stuff worked in that. I'm usually very critical of my own stuff, and that one sort of sucked the least.
I was always pretty proud of my Robot Jocks review. But on top of that, I did a Zombie Apocalypse 2012, and me and my team shot some parody scenes basically to go in the middle of it, and a lot of people actually thought those were scenes from the movie. I don't think mock movies are on my show. Typically movies that I really like, the concepts of film that I really like, although I think some people thought I was joking in the Willy Wonka review.
But we got to use safe, right? You can't really want to safe.
Well, but yeah, in terms of being proud of my work, it sort of varies from episode to episode. Sometimes when I upload, this is going to be great, and sometimes when I upload, someone's like, this is shit, and I worry about it. So it kind of varies for me.
Well, lately I've been in a really perfectionist mood, which is why I've been releasing stuff that's like 30, 40 minutes long, which I should never do. Just way too much work. But I think that the last one, the cloud out, was well. But some of the other stuff, I think what I did with Serbian film, I knew it was like pathetically terrible. It was an automatic punchline in and of itself, and I actually learned a lot in making that film. A lot about Serbian, but I never thought I did. And I think that's what caused me to go in a different direction, because before I was just taking these films to find jokes in them, and then I realized that I got a lot out of it, not only for myself, but also for my audience, out of just trying to give the movie a fair shake and do some extra research. And plus, I think the end joke was a lot of fun. My dad actually works for me, though. So having the ending where I call NATO to bomb Serbia, I don't know if my dad like showed that to his colleagues, like I don't know. I don't know.
I'm quite proud of the Seagal month reviews that I did. It's really chronicling the increasing laziness of Steven Seagal's casting the voice doubles and the body doubles. It just got to farcical levels. One of the bits I was just editing the review, and I was like, hang on, that shot looks really stretched. They just stretched the shot to try and make Seagal look thinner. But I was quite proud of that. I'm actually quite, I would say that I'm most proud of my crossovers actually. Because I really enjoy doing the collaborations. I like working with another person. I tend to work better. I would agree with people that tend to say that I work better with other people. I would agree with that. I think when I'm by myself, sometimes I'm not really sure what I can do by myself. But when you've got a tag team, basically, it means that you can sort of divide the load a bit. And I think I can write crossovers reasonably well, so it shows off the strength of both myself and the co-collaborators. So it's a lot of fun. So for example, I really love the Big Mama's House movie.
I don't know if it's one of the more popular ones. I'm happy now the Lufarino Hercules came out.
Did you know there's a new Hercules movie?
Hercules 3D.
Every difficult side of it needs more straight. The last one, which was Fight Club, which I'm pretty proud of. And I got to sing in it. So.
Yeah.
How do you end up saying in the review like the exploitation movies and like the porno stuff? How do you end up getting into doing that?
How did I want to do like exploitation? Because ever since I was a kid, I've been a big exploitation guy, been a horror guy, so it just worked out for me that the genre that I wanted to do in my particular show is one that I would be watching anyway. These are all movies I'd be watching it. Well, most of them are movies I'd be watching. So it just kind of worked out for me like that.
Anything for Rantasma or for the group?
This is for the entire panel. Is there any movie or show you're looking forward to reviewing in the near future?
That we're planning to? Or
Planning to or looking forward to?
I'm going to be doing Left Behind 2 and 3 finally.
I'm looking forward to, it's going to be a couple of months, but getting Diamanda, and that's going to cause such a shitstorm. I'm really looking forward to that too.
You monster!
I keep pushing this back, but I've resolved to actually do this year. I'm going to do something about the leader.
This is actually about a series that I'm planning. Starting on April 23rd, going through to May 23rd, I'm finally doing Shakespeare Month. Each episode is cover like a different Shakespeare adaptation. And covering a very, very wide range, like from 10 Things I Hate About You to A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Is that a porno?
If it wasn't, what the hell would it be about?
I don't know, bakeries?
I'm doing character.
Thank you for the movie idea.
Well, I know that I'm really looking forward to doing the projector review on Tinkerbell and the Pirate Fairy.
What?
I'm going to do a good day to Die Hard.
Yeah! I hated that movie so much.
Do a crossover here on Texas Chainsaw 3D. And I'm going to do the Total Recall remake around the time when Robocop came out.
I'm doing the Bee Gees Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club. In World War II, I mean, it only goes great for me.
Spider-Man 2, Transformers 4.
Yeah! I'm doing Mean Girls fairly soon, and at some point I'm doing, I want to do something with Mulholland Drive, not sure what yet, but...
Any other ones for Rantasma?
This is also for the whole panel. Sorry. So if you review a movie based on a book, do you even bother reading the book, or
Wow.
I decided to skip the novelization of E.T. the porno.
So where could I get that, by the way?
I'll mail it to you.
The pages might be a bit sticky.
When I did last week's report, that the entire point of the review was how it's translated from book to screen and the whole process of the adaptation. But otherwise, I would say if you're looking at the movie, you're looking at the medium and the way the story is being told is its own thing. And unless you're specifically looking at how the adaptation works, then reading the book is kind of, well, you could say, well, this happened in the book, this was like this in the book, but that doesn't matter because this is the movie, it's its own entity, and you have to evaluate that one.
I would agree with Nash, but years ago when I did my first Emmanuel review, I actually bought a copy of the novel it was based on, but not to read, just for a visual joke that didn't really work. But I still have it. It's hilarious.
I don't necessarily read the book, because there's a lot of research for books in the sci-fi genre, but a lot of times I will do some research and at least get constant clip notes of what was happening, especially if I can figure out why. If there's something that's really weird that they just don't explain in the movie, it's like, well, maybe that was explained more in the book.
I try to do about as much research as I can, and if it's a very famous book, they got to adapt it book and just tell me something worth referencing. But for the most part, I try to look at the film as the film during that.
I absolutely agree. I did read Proudest for review because I wanted to see just why the movie didn't what. But usually, again, film is its own medium, and again, usually it's mostly worth looking at the book. You want to see what was lost in the adaptation and what was gained, because they are very different.
Yeah, I tend to have to look up what I tend to have to look up the book synopsis normally after I've seen the movie. I don't like to spoil myself too much before I see the movie, so I'll see the movie as a movie, and then I'll look up the synopsis of the book so I can compare, and normally the most significant differences can be attributed from there. So obviously, I've had to review quite a few things recently based on books that are projected, like Film, which is based on the Welsh novel, and How I Live Now. And for Film, I knew that the book of Film has sections of it written by a tapeworm inside the main character's gut, which obviously they had to change a little bit of the film, so they had Jim Broadbent with a massive brain. Yeah, and when I looked up How I Live Now, I was like, oh, I've seen you Just the other day, I was watching a movie where Jim Broadbent cross-dressed and had 3 arms. Yes. How I Live Now I was like, well, reading the book synopsis, oh, so that's where the incest came from.
What?
But funny story, a while back I did Street Fighter, the Legend Chun Li. And
oh God, I'm bad for you.
I've never played Street Fighter game ever, but I just put like a week into just reading up a Street Fighter movie. And I just read it from like top to bottom and then did the review. And no one complained, so I must have done a lot of research.
The movie takes like time that I don't have. Although I kind of wish I had read one of the Bret Easton Ellis movies. I have read some little books, but not all of them. I think I'm a little bit muddled as a result, so I want to, but it doesn't always work out that way because I work on a pretty quick turnaround.
Okay, anything for the group or anything for me?
Hey.
In the top line? No. You, besides the little green hair.
So I know you really don't like Rose or the Ninth Doctor. Are there any episodes with them in Black Belt?
I heard the Ninth Doctor and 10th Doctor. Because it's the 10th Doctor I really hate. The Ninth Doctor, I don't really see him as the Doctor. I see him as the guy that wandered in and maybe stood for the Doctor. There's a bunch of different episodes with them I do like. Just from the Ninth Doctor one, Dalek in particular, is really, really good. And you have Tennant, you've got like Blink, you've got Midnight, you've got Turn Left, there are good episodes in you, it's just my new videos are dedicated to whining. So I don't really comment on how good some of them are, but I will eventually do a video of 10 episodes of New Who that I don't think are shit. And the one on the road behind.
Alright. Okay, so this is originally going to be a question for Brad, but I thought all of you could probably pitch on it. I know there's a debate on practical versus digital effects.
stuff with get really kind of picky about that, like, and that they'll hate like anything that has CGI in it. I'm not. Like, I do prefer practical effects, yeah, I think they're better. I like that it has weight to it, and it actually looks like a physical object on screen. But I don't hate digital effects either. I think that sometimes it can look really well. It's also like practical, and that you have good examples of it. You have bad examples of it. Just the older stuff is. I think it looks better. It's what I grew up with. It just happens to be what I prefer.
Well, since I've been looking back at a lot of the stuff, especially this direction, I just saw Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug, and I saw how they animated Smaug, and it was really good. But then I stopped and realized how much money went into that. And then I look back at Dragon Slayer, and it considerably, even adjusted, budget-wise, had a considerably lower budget. And even with that low budget, what they made with practical effects, they actually came up with a new form of stop motion that looked more fluid. It started Dragon Slayer. And with that much less money, it looked comparable to something they spent, what, $100 million? So that says, I mean, they can look good, but it takes a tremendous amount of time to get digital to equal just what they usually do in practical effects.
Something I've noticed from watching both the Hobbits in 48 frames and 24 frames is that usually digital doesn't look quite as good or weighty as practical. But if you watch them in 48 frames, honestly, digital begins to look more real than the practical. The practical stuff looks more staged and set. It looks like a play, and it doesn't look real. Like the practical effects in people's ears or hands or whatever are really noticeable. But the CGI looks really good. And I don't know why that is, but it's something I find fascinating.
Our eyes are stupid.
I think there are pluses and minuses to both. I mean, good digital looks good, bad practical effects looks like puppets, I think honestly the best is a good marriage of the two. When you're using something physical and you're using digital to enhance it, that's usually what I think ends up looking the best.
Although there's probably some exceptions to this. My rule in my mind has always been if you do it effectively through practical effects, then you should. Can't do it effectively through practical effects, then you try CGI. My concern is always when I see a movie and it's deeply entrenched in CGI and it just looks awful. I think you could have used a model. You could have used a real animal in the scene instead of a cartoon. And sometimes the CGI looks amazing. It's beautiful. So sometimes it just feels like making the wrong call.
Good effects look good. Bad effects look bad.
Well,
given the choice on bad effects, I prefer practical. Bad practical is charming. Sharknado and Jaws 4 look legit. Jaws 4 is charming as hell.
Can't remember who made it. Has anyone seen the story of film? Your documentary about I want to say Mark Cousins. In the last episode, the one about filmmaking in the 21st century, he made a very interesting comparison. He took a very famous shot from the movie Intolerance in 1960, which is it's on a crane flying over a recreation of the city of Babylon, complete with horses and people dancing in the streets, and it looked like a real city. It was tangible. And he set that shot against a flyer scene from Gladiator, taking ancient Rome, recreated entirely on a computer, pointing out that the former was made with real risk. The wire could snap, the crane could have stumbled. There was sweat and blood put into this gigantic set that became a Los Angeles landmark for years after the movie was made. While the opening shot of Gladiator was made by people working like hours, slamming up computers, eating off of pizza like nights. There is something that goes into both. I think digital effects are a very powerful tool. They take a lot of risk out of filmmaking. But then again, they take a lot of tangibility with it. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's good. Again, it is a tool. It is how you use it. But then again, I think as we are moving farther and farther into purely visual.